recording.
Okay. So, we wanted to ask you, first of all, what the Athens Police coverage of the fests entail. You know, how many officers you guys will have, like what your objectives are, and you know, how exactly you go about dealing with them.
Okay. The police department, as well as the city of Athens and the Ohio University Police Department and the Ohio University, has taken a slightly different approach this year to the fest. What we have done is we've initiated a campaign, a door-to-door campaign in the neighborhoods that are holding these fests, with the theme being be civil, be smart, and be safe. And we, police officers and city and university officials, actually walked into neighborhoods handing out educational information about how to maintain a nice, safe, civil fest for the year. In addition to that, we've also arranged to have other agencies come in to help us with coverage. And the weather this year has cooperated a little bit. It rained at some fests, and that helped keep some of the chaos down. So.
Oh, go ahead.
Do the police mind the fests at all? Do you mind them happening every year?
That's a good question, and here's the answer to that is we, the police, understand that college is a social time of one's life, and we know that there will be socializing and parties. We do not like an event to get out of hand where it endangers other people, such as fires that start that could catch a house on fire and hurt people, bottles, cans thrown, even the water balloons. There's been two really serious injuries with water balloons in the past years. So while we understand the need for socializing in a college environment, we would like it to remain civil and enjoyable but safe.
When you say that you cooperated with different, you know, different people with this, who exactly would that include? Or different, I think you said departments or something that you read.
We, the City Police Department and the Ohio University Police Department, in conjunction with the City of Athens Mayor's Office, the Ohio University President's Office, and the Dean of Students' Office, and the Off-Campus Student Housing Department, jointly came together to come up with some ideas on how to make these gatherings safer for everyone. I know the President's Office sent out some mailings through emails. You may have gotten them about how to try and have a good time but be safe and be smart during these events. Things like that. It was actually a multi-level approach this year that we have not done so much in years past. And I think that may have contributed to a lot of the success upon this year's events.
Can you describe that a little bit more, just basically your perspective on, you know, how things went this year, and even just, I mean, I know that there were, while it was relatively civil, there were still a lot of like arrests and that sort of thing, so can you talk to that degree?
Sure. The majority of the arrests were alcohol related, and if you will notice from the newspaper accounts, the Ohio Investigative Unit, what used to be known as the liquor agents, made a lot of citations and arrests for underage consumption. That seemed to be the majority of the negative encounters with the police were alcohol related, either through possession or consuming alcohol if you weren't of legal age yet.
From a police officer's perspective, do you feel that you know, the students are, I mean, how do you feel that the students' reaction to like the police coverage is, and if most people are kind of understanding whatever, if you get a lot of you know, controversy with that as to your presence and that sort of thing.
In years past, we've noticed more controversial, confrontational occasion
Thank you. Yeah.
with some students and area residents. This year, we did not notice that. Seemed to be more of a cooperation spirit between the organizers, the community residents, and the student population, and the law enforcement police division, university, and the city. Seemed to be a lot more cooperation between everyone this year.
Mm-hmm. Which, you know, I would say is always better when
always
you're willing
wonderful.
to cooperate.
Yes.
As the Athens City Police Department, and you know, where you're in more contact with the local citizens than say like the OUPD, how would you say, I mean, if you get complaints and that sort of thing, what can you tell that the citizens' response to these fests? I know that might kind of be a generalization, but you know, how they generally feel.
Through legislation, and you are probably familiar with the noise ordinance here in the city of Athens. During the week, anything after 10 p.m., audible more than 50 feet, electronic devices, a violation. On the weekends, it's midnight. During these fests, during this spring, everyone was cooperative with actually turning the stereos and the bands off at those hours. Unique to past years. So that was good. So we had very few city residents complain because the noise violation or the noise ordinance was complied with during this spring.
Yeah.
We were very pleased with that. Showed good responsibility on the residents, student residents, and also the police didn't have to start writing tickets for people in violation at that time.
Right. Do you feel that in the past, like before this noise ordinance was passed, that you know, local residents would, I mean, I'm sure there were complaints thus the passing of it in the first place, but do you think at all they were tolerant in the fact that they'd kind of just be like, well, you know, it's these fests going on and kind of what are we going to do? Or do you think you got complaints and that it would be like, well, you know, we would like something done here, like, it, you know.
We still get those. We had one resident call in on the night of Palmer Fest. Were you there, by the way?
No, actually.
We had one resident 2 blocks away called in and wanted us to shut the entire thing down because the noise volume was too high, and it was before the noise ordinance went into effect. And so we still received some calls about the noise for the residents. We, the police, have to look at them from a legal standpoint, if it is in violation of the noise ordinance or not. And we work with the residents on those issues too. So the answer to your question is, I think it seems the community members, residents, and the student population seem to coexist on some level until those bounds are broken. If you're still playing your stereo at 2 and 3 in the morning, the police will probably be at your door.